feels safe. To build positive live chat, set a delay between messages. I wish I could figure that out, but anyway. Yeah, it's all good. There's somebody. I gotta get my. I got a real. You guys can. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. That's I am. Hello, somebody's in here. No, I'm gonna get the other glasses. My other specs.
Here you are.
Heath. Jolene. Oh, great. Hey, Mark. Oh, look at that. They're all piling in now. I'm to get my chattage sorted out because I'm going to have to monitor this on my on the desktop because because that's what I got to do. Australia. There we go. There's live, and I'm going to turn my volume down. Everyone feels there. There we go. Because I have to monitor my chat this way. Oh, for God's sake. There we go. I'm going to have to monitor my chat by my computer because that is the way my brain has to work. So let's see what's going on. Let's see. So hey, Judy's in here. Seattle Scofflaws. I love Susan Atkins. Hello, Heath. Jolene. Hey, Jolene. Shannon. Mark. John. Teresa. Hi. Kevin Burns. Scott Springs. Annette Estrada. Look at that. Karen from Australia. Hello. I just spent a lovely day with Karen just a couple of weeks ago in Los Angeles when she had a short way over. Deb. Hi, Deb. Thoughts? Hey, we're going to just jump right into it, John. Okay. And I'm good. Now you're going to have to forgive me because I'm going to have to go back to this chat and I'm going to have to go to review what's going on here. So, hey, Donworth. So you just asked, John just asked about, well, I'm going to get into that in a little bit. Hang on. I'm going to write this down. Because there's a couple of things I wanted to tell you about. Donworth. Hello, Bill Gonzalez. Moabs. Carlo. Mike. Lisa Blake from Alaska. Hey there. Hey, Jolene, thank you. Love and hugs to you too. Very nice of you. Thank you. Hugs, hugs, hugs. Hello from Indiana, John McDonald. There's a chance that Jordan and I may be zipping through Indiana in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Hello, Minnesota. Waving at me. Diane Gallagher, Rhode Island. Look, I love that. Hello from Kentucky. Did I go to the Viper Room on its last night? The Viper Room has not shut down yet. I have to clarify that. The Viper Room is slated for demolition, okay? There we go. Slated for demolition. They're still booking shows through the through the middle of June. And all the other storefronts are closing down there on Sunset Boulevard in that block. That block is absolutely going to be torn down. But the Viper Room has not closed yet. There's been no official announcement about the Viper Room closing. So just so you know, that's to clarify. Hey, Manchester, England, across the Atlantic Sea. Hello. Jody, hi. Kenneth Bird, hi. Recently discovered your channel. Thank you very much. Davenport, Don Davenport. No, I'm kidding, Carlo. Donna, yes, I'm still in Palm Springs. We are both still in Palm Springs. Yeah, we're not, no intention of not being in Palm Springs anytime soon. Hey, Bullets, how's it going? Ann Meyer's here. Hi, Ann Meyer. The fairy godmother. London, Ontario, my old neck of the woods, kind of. La Paz, Mexico. Hello, Cindy. Vancouver, gosh, we have an international crowd, don't we have? Germany, my gosh. Ingrid, hello. Hello from gloomy LA. Isn't that funny? It was 70 and sunny in Britain, I think, this week, and it's funny that LA would be gloomy. Love the gift unwrappings. Thanks, John. I've got one set to go. I was telling Troy and I were just discussing when we're going to do that one. Are we getting a public Tina Turner funeral? I highly doubt it. Somebody posted a really nice video of the front of Tina's house on YouTube today, just like a 10-minute thing of people gathering in front of her house, laying flowers down and stuff like that. It was very, very nice. I have not watched. I'm gonna see if I can start this ceremony. I have not watched the Anna Nicole documentary yet. It's not really on my to-do list because I heard it's kind of lousy. That's what I've heard. So this is making me nuts. Hang on now. I might drop this phone, and that would be so very me. No, it's not going to cooperate with me. Here, see if that does it. Okay, sorry about that. And Nani, hey, Ann Jackson, how you doing? Lovely to see you. I've got my Ann Jackson and Rob Jackson art on the wall behind me. You can see my box, my box back there, just below Decker. Fort Worth, hello. So yeah, no public Tina Turner funeral. That I can say with confidence. Tina Turner was a very private person. She was a Buddhist. I don't know if she would believe in celebrating the death thing. I think she'd very simply just get cremated and scattered in the lake. I think it was, I forget what, Zurich, I think, Switzerland. So yeah, right on the lake there is my guess. That's my guess. Hello from, hey Lanny. Hi Lance, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I have a friend in the Detroit area. You're saying, oh, Nick, you said that that the Anna Nicole wasn't bad. Okay, well, maybe I'll give it a chance, but I've heard really lousy things about it. Not good at all. Don't talk about my Zoltar. Hey, Donnie, thoughts of Gordon Lightfoot made? Oh, yeah, you know, he was a national treasure there in Canada. So yeah, sad day for people that are Canadians and people that like Gordon Lightfoot. Very sad. We Troy and I went up to the Upper Peninsula to that Whitefish Bay where the Edmund Fitzgerald, I believe it was, the Edmund Fitzgerald was last seen by land, I think. And you know, of course the Gordon Lightfoot thing is a big deal there because of the Edmund Fitzgerald. So yeah, that was sad. Hey Steve Gary, did I see that Quentin Tarantino announced the death of Rick Dalton? Yes, I did actually, and yeah, that was kind of out of nowhere, wasn't it? But you know, Rick Dalton dies when he's 82 years old, I think it was. So yeah, he's entitled. But I thought it was just an interesting thing to do. And there's the other thing that mentioned in the news or in the entertainment news this week was about Margot Robbie's feet being dirty on the set, which was something that always made me cringe because I have a thing about feet. Yeah, so that was kind of gross. I dirty feet just it's like a thing with me. I don't know. I can't. Let's see. Now here's somebody who asked an important question: Detroit style pizza or Chicago style pizza? I grew up in Detroit. I left Detroit when I was about 20. I don't know how old was I? 80 something, so about 25 maybe. But I've never heard of Detroit pizza in my life until probably 5 years ago, maybe more than that. But I've never heard of Detroit style pizza. That's kind of interesting. I knew a lot of, you know, there's pizzas, there's, you know, but that Little Caesars Domino's thing didn't happen till later on either. So Detroit style pizza is still something that makes me kind of go, okay. James Martin, hey Scott, watch your channel for a while through Jordan's. Well, that's terrific. I'm glad that you like Jordan's channel and my channel. Jordan and I are doing a road trip very, very soon. We're going to do the entire Route 66. And I'm along for the ride because this is Jordan's thing. You know, I do the deathy stuff and Jordan likes to do all the pop culture stuff, and that's cool. And I'll of course I'll do something with some of the videos, but you know, Jordan, I'm along for the ride because I enjoy hanging out with Jordan. We both have a really good time, and we both like road trips, so we're looking forward to it. Hello from down the street, Steve Carey. Are you going to the Freddie Mercury auction? No, that's Freddie. You know, I like Freddie Mercury, but not really enough of a fan to pursue something that was owned by him. Hello, Ann Chalmers in London. Hello, Kim Bringert. Let's see. What do you think about the Doris Day and the Charles Manson connection? Supposedly, she asked Terry to move to another house. Do you think she met Charlie? No, I don't think she met Charlie. I don't know if God, there was something in their book about she did talk about Manson for a little bit and Terry Melcher. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think Doris had um she might have said something about the hippies hanging around the house, but I don't think Doris said anything in particular about Manson, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Thank you, Shannon Lee. You're very kind. Do I know if Cliff Booth is still living? I'm assuming so. And that I haven't read. My friend Marlene sent me the novel of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I understand they were getting into the uh, the history of Cliff Booth and his wife and the accident on the boat. So I haven't seen yet. So I haven't seen that yet. Uh, on the coronation, I love the coronation. Well, I like all that stuff, and I'm not necessarily a huge Charles fan, but I kind of am getting convinced of it. So I did like the coronation because I love all of that. I love getting the coronation chair, and I love this how they got the stone of Scone back from Scotland for the occasion to put it underneath the chair, and I love all that weird tradition, and the orb and the scepter, and it's so outrageous and it's so wonderful, and yeah, what a fascinating secret sort of society. You want to know what happened behind that. When they put that thing around Charles during the coronation, and no one can see what he's doing, and it's the most personal and most. What do they do? Troy talked about this, and he's like, "What are they making him drink the blood of all the other monarchs? Like they maybe keep the blood in that orb or something like that." And that's the one thing because there's all kinds of secret society business out there. So I don't know. It was just something that was very interesting. But I loved the coronation. I thought it was really interesting. I'm not a huge fan of Prince Charles. I was of the Queen. I'm not or King Charles now. Let's see. The bodies are supposedly well preserved on the Edmund Fitzgerald. Some of them are, yeah, because of the water. It's so cold up there, and it's not salt. So, Buddies or Jets Pizza. It's Jets. We had one right by my mom and dad's house. Amity shirt. That's right. Amityville, 1975. Amityville, Amity, Amityville. But they're both in the neighborhood, aren't they? Out of how many of your Hollywood artifacts, if there was a fire, what item would you grab that's priceless to you? Gosh, the people. The people, definitely. There would be Pugsley and Mishu and Shorty Shay and Sadie. I'd grab those. Those are the most important things to me. People to me, not things. I have a few others. My friend Larry, my friend Lisa. I have my folks. I have Decker. So yeah, that would be the people and the pets. Let's see. Let's see, Karen. Karen, I am so glad you got back to the block where the Viper Room is. Yeah, I was there. I was gonna head home, and I got no. I got to do this because I don't know how long it's gonna be there. So I'm really glad I did that too. Hang on, got to get a sip. It's real. I'm still rationing, but I still have them. Hi, Jojo from Boston. Am I coming east this summer? Probably no. I mean, the farthest east I would go would probably Detroit. Did I see, Heath, I got the document and thank you for sending it. I kind of peeked at it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it on an unboxing video because people really enjoy that and I do too. So there's a really cool document that Heath sent me. I didn't look at it, I just know what it was, and I'm going to open it on a video. I'm glad you guys think Jordan's a good guy because he genuinely is. How long have Troy and I been together? We've been married since been married 10 years, and 4 years before that, about 15 years, I think. You don't have to go to Switzerland to do a Tina Turner video. Yeah, and Freddie Mercury, because he's scattered over that way too. Blue Skies, thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Hello, Travel with Lisa. What's the last movie Troy and I watched? We watched the other night. We watched that Shazam movie, that new Shazam superhero movie. Yeah, Troy likes the superheroes. I like them too. So but what we've been trying to do is watch some classics, stuff that I've never seen or Troy's never seen. We watched like The Thin Man. We watched. What else did we see? Um, There were the Betty Davis ones, Jezebel, and we're sort of digging up these oldies. There's a couple of Ingrid Bergman movies, which we watched Gaslight, and I just got the Cactus Flower one with that Goldie Hawn I've never seen, which she won the Academy Award for, and yeah, so we're trying to watch older movies that are considered classic. I have Casablanca, but I can't quite face that one yet because I'm not a fan of Ingrid Bergman. Oh, we watched Suddenly Last Summer, which was outrageous. Yeah, so we're trying to watch the old stuff along with keeping the current, and also been on a kick of the old '70s movies like Don't Be Afraid of the Dark and Bad Ronald. We watched those recently too. Do we think Lansbury's daughter was going to become a Manson girl? Probably. I mean, it's quite possible that Angela Lansbury's daughter did that. It could have been involved. She knew him. Same with Dean Martin's daughter. She was involved for a little while too. Hey, Donnie, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Charles had to promise to sacrifice Harry. Thank you for putting out the all-inclusive videos with respect for all the sinful and righteous among us. Makes us intelligent and intriguing learning. Thank you. Thank you. I have to process that comment. Boy, I'm behind. I'm behind. I'm behind. Okay. Let's see. Do I remember the murder of Dr. Canty from the Gross Point? Yes. Yes. I think there was garbage bags of people that were being thrown out of a car or something. I do have a book on that. I do have a book about that, and that's a really good story. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Hunter Burke. Welcome, Arkansas. Hello. Do you travel to see people's collections? Well, we go to museums. Do you think Tex Watson is sincere in his Christianity? No. Oh, who am I to say? But no. Oh, well, hey, Brian. We met at Galveston. Okay, at Dash Beardsley show. Oh, the MC, of course. Of course. I remember you. Yeah, because I think I uploaded my presentation and you introduced me. Sure, I remember. I forgot it. Yeah, Pugsley. Okay. What do you think about the Partridge Family and Bewitched houses? It makes me upset, but I'm surprised they lasted as long as they have, to be honest. Most sets are torn down. I wouldn't say most, but a lot of them are. The Princess Margaret quotes. Okay, I'm glad. Princess Margaret was something else. Hey, Sabrina, thank you. Oh, thanks for buying the books. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you like the books. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was selling my books for a while too, but I'm glad that you enjoyed getting some of the books that I had on my shelf. Have I heard of Richard Hart? Yes, I have. I right off the top of my head, I can't say. Bullets, thank you for the congrats. I appreciate that. Are you going to see the new Karen Carpenter? Absolutely. I'm Facebook friends with the guy who made that new Karen Carpenter documentary. Absolutely. Hats are available again. And in fact, let me send a link here. I purposely, hopefully, I can do this before my chat gets. This is the link to get the new baseball caps, like the one I'm wearing right now. That I just got them in this week. I only have about 20, and because I can't afford to get a whole lot made up right now. But I just posted a link in the chat of the baseball caps. If you want a cap like the one I'm wearing, they're really good actually. I got these. These are lightweight. They're one of those. They're not fastened ones, but they're really lightweight. And yeah, so I would never sell anything I wouldn't buy. That's just something I abide by. So just want to say again, thanks. What a ball and a go. Thank you, Karen. I'm glad you had a good time. Let's see. Oh, I'll leave Jordan's artwork alone. Lance, you're not very nice. That wasn't a nice comment. He loves it. I mean, Jordan's house is very eclectic, definitely, and it's very him, and I have a lot of respect for that because he definitely has he definitely likes what he wants. Do I like the movie Tommy? Blue Skies is one of my favorite movies. I love Tommy. We are just talking about that the other day, well, because of Tina Turner. But I watched some of that not that long ago. Tommy, when they made Tommy in England, a lot of the crew And some of the lesser players went on to Tommy from Rocky Horror, from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. When they completed the Rocky Horror Picture Show, a lot of them moved on to Tommy. And my friend Imogen, who was one of the Transylvanians in Rocky Horror, was the nurse in the Nan Margaret and Jack Nicholson, the doctor. She was the nurse in that. So it's kind of an interesting thing, but I love the movie Tommy. It's one of my favorites. I made my mom take me. I was 13, and I'm looking at this thing with Anne Margaret writhing around in the pork and beans, and I was like, "Yeah, this was really cool." And my mom's like, I'm sure she was mortified, but I saved up all my paper route money in a pickle jar, pickle jar, like really coins a week to get this double album. I loved Tommy, and I like it more than I like the Who's Tommy. You know, I saw the play a couple of times, but I like the movie with all the stars in it. Yeah, I think Aunt Margaret's the best. I do. Do I know anything about Richard Mulligan? No, I don't. I mean, I know who he is, but Orlando, he loved me more than ice cream. Thank you. Any news on the Sharon Tate movie that was slated to come out? I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Yeesh. If I'm not on this, yeah, I'm way behind. I'm way behind. So please. Oh my God, I'm way behind. Okay, I'm gonna skim. So forgive me if I'm not seeing. Suddenly last summer, it's like a favorite. It explains a lot. Yeah, it does. Cooking Earth guy. I have a commemorative tin from the QE. Oh, okay, cool. Chemo. I'm all about that. Have I seen the letter? No, I haven't. Not yet. That is one of them. TV movies. The Screaming Woman. Okay. Troy, I think, is watching. I'll ask him to please make a note of that because that sounds good. Diary of a Mad Housewife. Okay. Yeah, Lance, you'd sent there was that thumb tripping we watched because of you, and that was interesting. That was a weird movie. That was a very strange movie. What's the matter with Helen? I've seen that one, I think. Did I grab the loose bricks from the Viper Room? No, I did not. I did not want those bricks. For some reason, I was not good with that. If the bricks were laying around, maybe I'd feel differently, but I didn't want to dig them out of a building that was still part of together. The Swimmer, 1968. Okay. The Killing of a Chinese Bookie. No, that's not real, is it? Aloha, Bobby and Rose. Gosh, I forgot about that one. Just spotted you on Roku's Killer soundtrack. I don't know what that means. We haven't gone to the Morongo Casino, Donnie. We've been to the Agua Caliente one a couple of times to see some people play. We don't go to casinos like to play, but to play gambling. But Dean Martin's daughter hung out with the Manson family too. Something about a piece of jewelry, a ring or something like that. Yeah, I didn't find it interesting enough to hang on to that knowledge, but I know that's as a bit of trivia. I'm not going to the James Dean Festival. I'd like to, but I won't be able to do that. Haven't seen the Gene Wilder documentary. Thank you, Brian. I'm glad you like the videos. Hello, Oh, there's Marlene. Hi. We're just talking about you and the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood book you sent me. Oh, thanks, Melissa. Thanks for getting the cap. Mel Brooks approved. Okay, that's the Gene Wilder documentary. I'll have to watch that. Gene Wilder was an interesting man. Not necessarily the huggy kind of, you know. I told when I met him once. I think I've said this before, maybe more than one time, but I met a lot of people, and I met Gene in London. Gene, like I knew him. I met him in London, and just looking at his eyes, I was just transfixed, and I just knew that he was a good man. That's what I can't even describe it any other way. I just felt like he was a good person, but he's kind of just kind of aloof, I think. But I don't know. Maybe it's because of the Gilda. I don't know. Can we start the fictional story that kind of thing where he's eaten by his poodles after choking to death on a sex toy? I was started working on a kind of thing or video of getting some experts on certain people, people that are authors about some of the people that he had wrote about, and I'm looking forward to doing that. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. You guys are gonna have to forgive me for this. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. Okay. Oma, hello. I love Tommy. Also thinks blue skies. Looking forward to your Tina Turner video. What do you think about Priscilla Presley asking to be buried at Graceland? I think it's gross. I don't think Priscilla Presley and Elvis is a lovely, wonderful love story. Like, I don't believe it, not one bit. She dumped Elvis and he was with somebody for 6 years after that. So I'm not a fan of Priscilla Presley. Not a fan either. But I think that the being buried there is a bit of a stretch for her. I really do. Have I heard the theory that Barbara Colby's death was actually engineered by her ex-boyfriend Ethel Merman's son? Weren't they married? I think they were married. I don't think they were ex-boyfriends. But I don't know. I've not heard that theory. Uh, do I have a fave Paul Walker movie? Was he the one that was in The Hitcher? I think it was The Hitcher. I like that. Did you ever meet Roddy McDowell? No. Portavoy? No. I would love to have though. He's one of the people I'd love to pick his brain. And he's the guy that I guess he had diaries that they said they'd be like sealed until 50 years after his death. It makes me insane. Come to Liverpool. That's certainly, Ann Jackson and I were talking about that, who's also in the chat room, about going to Liverpool next time I'm over. Scream, Pretty Peggy. Oh, God. Okay, Troy. Scream, Pretty Peggy. Have I met John Waters? Yes, a few times. And he's a very nice guy. Last time I had him sign my plate, it said, God bless our mobile home. And I had him write, happy birthday, fat, so on. Thanks, Carol. David Oman here. Hey, David, if you're in there, hello. Do I think they'll ever solve the Black Dahlia case? Well, possibly they might solve it, as in they figure out who does it, but they'll never close it because they can't, because all the evidence is missing, unfortunately. The Fonz, thank you. The victim with Liz Montgomery, I think so. Jodie Foster was a little girl who lives in poisons people. No, that sounds good. I'm not muted, Michelle, and I think other people can hear me, so I can't help you there. Sorry. I plan to get back to David Oman's house. There's David. Hi. Bill Bond's funeral. Of course I'd want it. Yeah, for sure. Fellow Detroiter. Let's see. Oh God bless it. I'm so slow. Shelley Litchoff. Hey, thank you. Hi. Nice to see you. Hope you say hi to Troy. Troy is in the other room, and I'm sure he hears this. So yeah. Thank you very much. You're very kind. You're always so kind. Have I ever seen the movie called Walk Proud with Robbie Benson? No. Kenneth Anger was the OG Death Hag. Yeah, fiction. He wrote a great book of fiction. I have encountered Kenneth Anger. I was just talking about that the other day too. Well, of course, because it came up. I was doing a tour on Hollywood Boulevard the first time, and he said, he came up to me. I was doing a tour. I was in front of like 20 people talking, and I was talking about Yamashiro, which is a building up on the hill in Hollywood. Beautiful old, like a Asian or Japanese style home, and on it is a pagoda. And I was telling my group that the pagoda is the oldest standing man-made structure in California. And he actually stepped up and said, "I need to correct you about something." And I'm like, I knew who he was. He goes, "My name is Kennedy. Yeah, I know who you are." And he said, "I need to correct you. That's not the oldest. That's been built in the 1920s." And I said, "No, you're talking about the house. I'm talking about the pagoda." So I got a bad vibe from him anyway. But of course, I was gonna. And then he came into the shop, and he sat down in the shop once for about 20 minutes, and we talked for a while, and he was telling me about somebody who wants to kill me, and I'm like, it's gross. No, not a fan. Not a fan. Hello, Cookie Stitch from Florida Space Coast. Feature you in a Manson episode of Roku on the Killer soundtrack. Looks like it was filmed at the shop. Oh, okay. Didn't know. I'm glad you liked the James Rockford thing, Jolene. Peter Falk Columbo segment. I'd like to do that. That would be really fun. Mark, be good. Hey, from West Virginia. I have not seen Rocket Ship 7. Talks from the Crypt interview was awesome. He's a good guy. Talks from the Crypt. He's a really, really nice guy. I really enjoyed talking to him. And I liked it. It was just a casual conversation. We touched on so much. What do you want to see in Liverpool? I want to go back to do all the Beatles stuff. I mean, that's easy to say. And also, I'd do something on, um, oh, the little boy. I forget his name now. Jeremy. That was an awful story, but it's one that's important. Yeah, that was terrible. Anyway, Portafoy, over 40 times in that gallery we counted. Okay. Hurricane Brian and Little Neighbors. Okay. Do you have any more Manson related videos coming up? I don't think so. I don't have anything planned yet, I don't think. God, I'm so far behind. I'm glad you guys are patient with me. I saw the Brooke Shields documentary and I thought it was pretty good. And yes, she was a stage mom. There were so many, though. It's hard to, just that hers is so well documented. And I don't know. I felt kind of bad for the mom, even though, it could be considered child abuse what they did, but what she did. But it's a different time. It's a different time. I liked Riot on the Sunset Strip. That was a weird movie, but I liked it. Documenting the Sunset Strip was really good. Bubble Boy? That's the boy in the plastic bubble. I have not met Rodney Dangerfield. How is Jordan? Jordan's doing great. I think who's the nastiest celebrity I've ever met other than David Spade. I've talked about this really recently too. It was Billy Zane. He was just a dick. More than once. He's just a dick. Not that who cares, Well, you asked. Kiss meets Phantom of the Park. Okay. Have I ever have a hearse for doing tours? Well, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Summer of Fear. Okay. Nuts and Board, because I love you and you make me feel not crazy about my Manson obsession. Thank you, Nuts and Board. Thank you, and I'm glad I can help. Laura, oh hi Laura, you're in. Jamie Bulger, that's right, that's it. Jamie Bulger, that poor little boy who was murdered by those monster children who are now released. It's just a terrible story. Jamie Bulger, yeah, just awful little boy. That footage of him leaving the shopping mall with holding hands with those two monster boys and what they put him through. So awful, awful, awful. Any new books on the shelf? Actually, yeah, I have my most recent book that I got was this one, the Criswell documentary. The Criswell biography by Ed Canfield, who's a buddy of mine. I haven't dived into that one yet. And I'm reading a trashy book called That Girl. It's an expose on Marlo Thomas. I think, well, Lance, actually, you're the one that told me about this, I think. It's really trashy. And it's very, very good. And somebody just gave me this because I was going to do a profile on James Whale, the director. So those are my new books that I have not dove into yet. So hello from Norway. Hello. Let's see, Mrs. Bellows. No, not yet, Lance. Thank you. I'm glad you liked the Jonathan Brandis movie, or the thing I did. I'm glad. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, am I far behind. Boys on the Tracks case, Mina and the Clintons. No. I'd love to know more about that though. If I can't, if you email me, I would love to know more about it. My email address is iamscottmichaels@gmail.com. If you don't mind, I'd like to know more about that. I am Scott Michaels at gmail.com. Any updated Hugh Hefner? I'm working on one, Hugh Hefner related, not Hefner, but it's more Playboy. And I'm working on, and I'll finish that when I go, after Jordan and I get back from our road trip. No, this wasn't David. This wasn't the sign from Benedict. This was the one when you drive up Benedict. It was the first one on the left, and it was honest to God laying on the ground. I swear on my life, we did not rip it off of anything. It was laying there. I swear on my life, and I will keep my friend innocent and not mention who helped me. Let's see. Any additions to your tab collection? Somebody sent me. My friend Patrick sent me a magnet recently, but no, nothing planned on the podcast thing. Mike's been so busy, and now I'm going to go away for a couple of weeks with Jordan, so I'm not sure when we're going to get to that. I wonder if they'll ever open the Playboy Mansion for tours. No, they won't ever do that. The new owner of the Playboy Mansion won't doesn't want anything to do with the history of that. Bridget from the Girls Next Door is a friend of mine, and we talked about that before. And actually, if you get a chance to listen to her podcast, it's called The Girls Next Level, and she and Holly do they just go over each episode of The Girls Next Door. And it's so much fun. I really enjoy Bridget and Holly's podcast. Absolutely. And they talk a lot about Playboy and about the people that hung out in Playboy. And I find it really fascinating. Just life at the mansion is so interesting. And the life with the other Playboy bunnies that were nasty to them. They call them the mean girls. And the stuff they had to do. And they interview people, that one of the photographers, and they interview one of the girls that was one of the naked models that would go, and give drinks away at parties. Very interesting. I enjoy it very much. And in fact, I'm going to be interviewing Bridget sometime when I get back too, because the Playboy thing is something I want to do, one of the Playboy videos. And also just to catch up. I've done her podcast a few times, her Ghost Magnet podcast. But I'm hoping to interview her soon. Well, we just have to set it up. It's going to happen. We just have to set it up. Any interest in Jack the Ripper, Mr. Mike Presley? Yes. I used to live right off Brick Lane. I lived on Shacklewell Street, right off of Bethnal Green Road. So I literally walked out and into the Cray twins neighborhood, and also the Jack Ripper. I walked down Brick Lane. So yeah, I studied the Jack the Ripper and the Cray twins quite a bit when I lived in the East End. I enjoyed that. Oh boy, I missed a lot. I have to go back now. What happened with David Spade? David Spade just used to throw things at my bus. He was just a dick. Uh, but I really had nothing to do when with David Spade. Really, Billy Zane was just a dick. A couple of times I tried talking to him, and he was just no, just deeply unpleasant. Not nice. Because I knew people that knew him back in Chicago, and I started the conversation with them about it. Oh, I know so and so, and he's like, who? And I said, so and so. And he says, I don't know what you're talking about. And he was just that abrasive. And ultimately, I just walked away. I said, the hell with this guy, And I said it to his face, Tremendous, let's just get out of here. And then he calls me back. No, I want to know what you're talking about. And I told him what I was talking about. He goes, why don't you just say that? And he's just deeply, deeply unpleasant. And more than one time. I'm not just saying that like as in one time. Uh, have you seen Little Shop of Horrors? I have. And I've seen the play many, many times. I like that one. That's a play that's difficult to screw up. Do you think the Menendez brothers will get new trials? I don't know. I don't. I don't think they should get new trials. I mean, it's terrible what happened, but they did do it. They just did. They're guilty. So what makes somebody? I always say, what makes I don't the philosophy behind a baseball bat being thrown at your face. Do you want to know what happened to cause that from happening, or do you want to just go, there's a baseball bat flying in my face? So I would say they did it. They killed their parents, and what made them do it? I don't. It's sad, terrible if what they're saying is true, but sorry, you killed your parents. Done. Oh, okay. I got to keep going here. Boy, House on the Left. Bring back your podcast. We will. We will, I promise. Kolchak. I liked Kolchak the Night Stalker. That was a good show. Good show. Who was alive? The Manson family. Tex, Krenwinkel, and Van Houten of the big players. Of the main players, we'll say. Holly Madison was sweet when I asked for a photo with her at the Griffith Park. She is nice. Holly's nice. I like Holly. I really like Bridget a lot. And somebody said Julian Sands theories. Julian Sands is that actor who went hiking, and they haven't seen him since. I think they lost him in January or something up in was it Mount Baldy or Bald Mountain, whatever it is. We had one of those in Michigan, so I can't remember which one. But I don't know. I just think that he might have broken a leg or something and ended up dying up there. What happened? I happened upon your YouTube and so interested in the video now. Love the history. So thank you. Have I thought about doing a podcast with Jane and Mark? That would be interesting. I wouldn't mind that. If somebody wanted to set that up, I'd totally be into it. Thoughts on Todd Fisher not being included in Carrie's? I think it sucks. Todd has nothing but love and respect for his family, and Todd's a friend of mine now, and I know that he cares a great deal about his parents and his legacy, their legacy, and Carrie's. So I think it's sad. Oh, Diane Lake, yeah, she's still alive too. Bridget Markart, it's called Bridget's. I just said it too, didn't I? Well, Holly and Bridget, theirs is called Girls Next Level, and Bridget is Ghost. Oh my God, I just said it a second ago. Jesus, age is just an awful thing. Uh, Magnet, Bridget's Ghost Magnet. Mount Baldy, thank you. No, yeah, Kenneth Anger was somebody I was going to talk about, but I got sidetracked. But Kenneth Anger, I talked to him for a little while. Kenneth Anger was an I know I have friends that were friends with him, so I kind of respect them, but I don't respect Kenneth Anger. I thought he was gross. Maybe he was a genius filmmaker. I don't know. I never watched his films, and there were nothing that ever interested me. So I like movies. I don't like film, and maybe that's why people that are filmy people love him, but I don't. And I think he's disgusting because he made up terrible stories about people that weren't around to defend themselves. And I think he's got a lot to answer for. If there's another side, there's some people waiting for him over there. Lupe Velez and Jean Harlow and a lot of people waiting to have conversations with him. Marie Prevost, nasty man, nasty man. And I say that personally because I've met him. But yeah. Why on earth was Lisa Marie's friends with Axl Rose? She was friends with Johnny Ramone. She was friends with a lot of people. Yeah, it's interesting. I had a chance to go in Squeaky's cell when she was out. Okay. That would be interesting. Bill Cosby loved the Playboy Mansion. Yes, he did. Yeah. Hey, machines. Glad you got it. Thank you. Have I ever get Michael Jackson's autograph? No, no. Billy Lord's ridiculous. I don't know Billy Lord. I just feel like that was an unnecessary situation with the Hollywood star. I thought that was really unnecessary. Ramon Navarro, maybe, maybe. Bob Crane, no, nothing on Bob Crane. I don't have anything. Wasn't it your tour? They pimped out the Hearst cargo oil. Yeah, yeah. When I did the girls next door, they brought the purple hearse from Barris, and we drove around with the girls in the back of it. That's one of the things I want to talk to Bridget about on camera because that was a fun day. It was the three of them: Kendra, Holly, and Bridget, and myself, and the driver, and cruising around LA in a hearse. That was something. That was something. We had a good day. John Waters loves, yeah, he does love Kenneth Anger, and good, good. Do I think Braz Williams was just as bad as what? Oh, Anne Marie, thank you. I'm glad that you guys like my videos. Thank you. Have I met Rodney Bingenheimer? I have met Rodney a couple of times at different things. He's a funny guy. He's a quirky, funny guy. I like Rodney. Do you have to pay to have their Hollywood star? Yes, there is a fee. It's a $50,000 fee to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It is a purchase. One of my, you grew up in South Pass in the late 50s, early 60s, and one of my friend's parents lived next door to Maryland. Oh, interesting. Huh. That's interesting. Do I think the bricks in the Tate house would have negative things attached to them? I really want one. I we maintain these things, we take care of stuff. So, with like sage and stuff like that. So, You know, I say if you treat things with respect, they'll treat you with respect. That's my take on it. Somebody asked about the hat. Here's the hat link again. I appreciate that. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you very much. It's very, very kind of you. Thank you. Would I ever do a podcast in the Comedy Store? That place is super haunted. That's one of the places. Now, here's the thing: when I did the Girls Next Door, we went to the Comedy Store. Pauly Shore had us in, and I was down in the basement, which is supposed to be the most haunted place there in that house, in that whole building. I mean, where supposedly mob hits happen. And they all went up to film in the main room, and I stayed in the basement in the storage room all by myself. And I stayed down there for a long time. And I'm not saying they're going to jump and perform when you want them to, but I didn't even feel any kind of heaviness or anything like that. So I wonder about that. I mean, who am I? I'm not an expert. I've seen some stuff, but I'm not an expert. There is something after, and yes, Kenneth Anger will have an account. Yes, so will we all. We'll have to, yeah, there's gonna be some people pissed off on the other side waiting for Kenneth Anger. Have I ever met Mia Farrow? No, I have not. Hey, Paul, my old buddy from grade school. Legend of Layla Claire. Okay, Lance. Do I have any headstones lined up to do? Actually, it's interesting. You should ask that, Cindy. Yeah, I'm making arrangements now to have Mishu, the little man who we have his cremains, interred at Valhalla Cemetery. I've been talking to the cemetery, and yeah, so that was we're talking about that now. Maybe having a place of permanent rest for Mishu, the littlest man in the world. Did they ever demolish the Bewitched house? Not yet. What are your thoughts on the death of George Reeves? That's too much to get into. Indigo, thank you very much. Yeah, I can't say anything about George Reeves because it would just be, I'd be here all night. Do I think Scotty Bauer's book, he was telling the truth? Yes, I do. I do. Because the people that Scotty Bowers talked about in his book weren't really people you put on the dust jacket of a book going, I got to buy that book. You know, who wants to know about Charles Lawton? I do, but not a lot of people would. So I think, and Charles Lawton stories are the best. But yeah, I don't see any reason why. And I see, yeah, I don't see anything to doubt in Scotty Bowers' book. You might have embellished a little. That's possible. Indigo Girls, thank you very much. Thank you, Hearts Wild. My brother had a truck route pass spawn in '69. Yeah. Scotty Bowers, I see. I want to know more. You're saying he lied. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I don't see. There was nothing in it that I felt that was unbelievable, but I've been corrected many times. Oh, say hey to George Jefferson, please. I love your stories about the corner you lived in. The literal crashes on the corner. Yeah, that was an interesting way to grow up. Oh, Ingrid, thank you for joining us. Go back to bed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Sam Kinnison's death site, probably not. Hello from Ireland, Matt. Hello. Kenneth Anger was the Brian Williams of his day. Obviously not interested in art films. Well, yeah, I like movies. That's it. Nothing against art films. It's just not my thing. So yeah, no disrespect intended. Christina Crawford is the last kid left. That's true. Yeah. I don't know anything about Andy Griffith, but that's a good story. I mean, that would be a good story to know. How did you obtain Mishu's remains? His family asked if we would put him on display in the shop, and we did. We had a little display. We had his director's chair. We had his robe from the Ringley Brothers thing, and a little cowboy hat, little boots, his little Walkman. So we'll be giving all those things back. We're going to keep a portion of his cremains, and with family's permission, and his cowboy boots. And one day we'll have our little cemetery again when we open up wherever that's going to be. I believe A&M Records is haunted. Yes, I do believe that. They don't make Tab anymore. These are hold offs. These are yeah. They don't make them anymore. Charles Lawton, if you offered you a sandwich, say no. Correct. That's a great story, though. It's a great story. Charles Lawton and the sandwich. You could probably Google that. I can't tell you. I won't. Have I considered a self-guided audio tour? I've considered that. I mean, I just don't. I'm not a tech head. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. So I'm happy to work on something, but I don't know how to do it, and I can barely do a live chat. So I don't. I don't know how. I don't know how. First concert I ever went to as a teen, Queen. That's my very first concert, Queen. Great voice for sure. Thank you. Daniel, thank you very much for the your kind donation. I appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. Do I like Fellini? Sorry. No, I don't. Sorry. I need I know I feel like I'm being a dick. No, I don't like it. No. But somebody Fran Fullenwider, she was big in the Fellini stuff, literally big, and she's one of the Transylvanians, a rather large woman, and she was a Fellini protege. What do you call it? Muse. But yeah, I don't mean any disrespect. It's just not my thing. I'm not. These are the tab is a stash. I keep it only for special occasions. Do I like Mamie Van Doren? I have nothing against her. She's a colorful person, that's for sure. I did know that Gloria Swanson lived on Bundy across from Nicole Simpson. I did know that. Caesar Romero and the Orange Wezzes. Yes, you listen to Gilbert Gottfried. That's right up there. Maybe it would be interesting if she taught. I think I asked her because I wanted to ask her about Jane Mansfield because supposedly she canceled her gig and Jane took it over, and that's when Jane died. Hey, Dave Myers, hi. I'm glad you guys like this stuff. Hello from Norway. Hello, Bonnie Lee Bakley. I heard that was closing. That restaurant Patello's was supposedly closing. The Osmonds. I know. I did see Dania Marie once at the state fair, so maybe I saw somebody before Queen. Uh, no, Dania Marie was later than that. Olive Thomas and Valentino are my faves. Did I ever do the comedian Bill Hicks? No. Mid South Explorers. Hi, thank you very much. Any new Once Upon a Time collectibles? No. That stuff's hard to come by. Some of the stuff they're man, they just that stuff goes for a fortune anymore. Ever met Shelley Winters? No. Marcia Hunt? Had a very interesting evening with Marcia Hunt. Uh, and it's a sort of a non-story because Marcia Hunt, she just died. She was 104. I was hired to do a talk at a doll convention on the Queen Mary. They were launching a Joan Crawford doll, and they wanted to do one on dark stories. And I did like this midnight talk on the ship. But that night for dinner, that was the payoff. I got to stay on the ship. Troy and I got to stay on the ship and have dinner. And we ended up at Marcia Hunt's table, like the A-list table. It was just the weirdest thing. It was like an acid trip. And she was very nice. She was very nice. I mean, that's like I said, it's a non-story. It was just a bizarre situation. One of my first records was 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 "Tear the Roof Off the Sucker" by Parliament. That was one of the very first records I ever bought. Strange requests from celebrities you've had? I don't understand that question. I like Charles Manson's music. I did a video on my channel about the meanings and stories. Manson wasn't terrible. If Betty Broderick is rehabilitated, yes, she should get out. I don't know anything on the state of her at all. But if she served her sentence and she's not crazy, then she should get out. Baby Jane house planted with ficus. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, that's it. Say goodbye to Baby Jane. You won't be able to see that house anymore. It's really too bad. But I'm glad we documented it. Do I like the Brady Bunch variety show? Not especially. My friend, oh my God, I know these people, and now that Ted, wrote a book about the Brady Bunch show, about that Ted Nicholson did about the Brady Bunch variety show. He's very involved in the history of that. Phil's place, hello. I don't know if Gene Wilder was buried next to Gilda. I doubt it because he was married again, so I doubt it. Are you gonna? I'd love to get a brick from the Viper Room. That'd be really neat. Please tell me you have memoirs, and that one day Troy will print them. I tell all my stories. All my stories are like one sentence long. I don't. I have 100 stories that are one sentence long. They're not even that interesting. Ever interview Scott Thorson? No, but I'd love to. Scott Thorson would be very interesting to talk to. My friend Steve Gary, who was in the chat room earlier, he and I are going to do a another Liberace video. We're going to go to the L.A. home of Liberace, and uh, and uh, and he's going to talk to me in depth about Scott Thorson because he was around for that. Not interested in the Brady House. Love the Brady House, but I wasn't interested. Still trying to catch Ruth Buzzy at my Costco again. Saw her there once. I'll get you an autograph. I just got a couple of hairnets from her autographed. I got it before she had her last stroke, and I love Ruth Buzzy. But yeah, she autographed some hairnets for me. But follow her on Twitter. I haven't looked her up recently, but Ruth was post on Twitter, and she's still. Last time I saw her, she still had it together. Robert Carley, thank you. Would you like a signed photo of Alan Seuss? I would never say no to a signed photo of Alan Seuss. Any updates on Tim Curry? He's doing appearances. You know, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be Rocky Horror's 50th anniversary when it opened at the Royal Court, at the theater upstairs at the Royal Court. So it's going to be very interesting. I know Nell Campbell's over there, and I know there's talk about something going on there for the 50th, but there's nothing really made very public about it. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. But I wish I could be there for it if they're going to do something. I really do. Do I remember Night of the Hunter is one of my favorite movies. Yes, Robert Mitchum, Charles Lawton had directed that. If you get a chance to see a messed up movie, see that movie, Night of the Hunter. That is one disturbing movie. Really good, but really disturbing. New Zealand, hello, Kiwi friend. Cuban Toro, thank you, hello. Do you think any more Sharon Tate will be put up for auction? Probably, but I couldn't tell you. Deborah Tate, from what I understand, has more stuff that she was considering letting go. But yeah, I think so. Jordan, he must be hammered. Oh gosh, do I go to estate sales? Yeah, I haven't been to any famous people in a long time, but yeah, I do. I do like going to those estate sales. In fact, Mike Connors had one recently. Jack Webb had one recently, and since I don't live in LA anymore, I can't go to those things on a whim. Anne Heche's ashes were interred at Hollywood Forever. Yeah, I just did a video, I think, or no, I'm working on it right now in Douglas Fairbanks Jr., and I show Anne Heche's burial spot. Do you have a celebrity crush, dead or alive? Mine are Bob Crane, David Cassidy, and Rudolph Valentino. James Dean, Bobby Sherman. Hey, Jimmy is not even a crush. It's a weird thing with Jimmy, but Bobby Sherman was my crush growing up. Jordan, you've got fans in here. We did the Jim. We haven't done a James Dean tour in a couple of years. I did like doing that, and the next time we do it, I want to do it with Warren Beath, who wrote the book "The Death of James Dean." Warren's a really good buddy, and yeah. You asked about the Betty White house. Yeah, I see Betty White estate sale. Somebody sent me one of her business cards and a piece of her stationery, which I'm very grateful for. And then I have, bricks from her house, which I'm very grateful for too. So yeah, I have some Betty stuff. The stuff I like. The only thing I really wanted out of that estate sale was the door for her office, I think. But that was the door from her office from her other house. It wasn't from her Beverly or Brentwood house. It was from the Malibu house or Northern California house. So yeah, Anne Hathaway and Corey Monteith. Okay, I can see that. What drew you to the Manson murders, making you an expert? I've never considered myself an expert on that, but I know a lot about it, and it's just something that I was just talking to somebody about that yesterday, about how it was such a bizarre thing to happen, and I think because it's so easy for it to happen to anybody, that those people were laying in bed and something terrible happened to them and they didn't know it, and somebody just crawled in their windows. That was terrifying. And those cute little girls who did all the stabbings, that were smiling with pigtails, that was terrifying. So it was a scary, scary thing. I'd love to talk to Paul Williams, but no, I have not interviewed him. Have you ever contacted Manson in prison? No. And no desire at all. Never. Even when I was into that, I wrote texts, which now in retrospect, I did what I did. I can't complain. I can't deny what I did. But Manson was never anyone I wanted to correspond with ever. Nothing. There's nothing you could ask him that I want to know, because you wouldn't be the truth anyway. Robert Blake was your crush? Okay, well, I can see that. Robert Blake was a good looking guy. And he was. Jack Cassidy was great. He was. I was supposed to do an interview recently for the DVD of what do you call it? Columbo. The guy reached out to me. He's putting together the DVD set of Columbo, or the Blu-ray set, and he wants to do this big interview on Barbara Colby. And I set it all up, and we had it all set, and I got all my notes ready, and that fucker never called me. Dick. That's like, okay, thanks for letting me know, Dick. Hey, Jordan. I'm gonna start doing shots whenever anyone mentions a Jordan's name. Bill Bixby was a handsome man for sure. Any pieces from the Stars, the Walk of Fame, they just demolished recently? No. Didn't know they did. Any opinion on Graveline Tours? No. Don't know them. Don't know them. The only opinion I have is that they're using a name that somebody else invented. They didn't earn that name. That I have I take issue, umbrance with. Remember Memorial Weekend when you were young? It was a big deal. Not so much because we're growing up now. This is another weekend, isn't it? And I mean, it's important, like in the broad scheme of things, with regards to its symbolism, the memorial, of the men and women who died. But yeah, I know it was like the Fourth of July. Yeah, yeah. Speaking of the Walk of Fame, before I go, I was going to show you this. Troy, this is one of the things Troy just found. You know when they do stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and they put a wreath on it. Well, we used to collect the banners off of the wreaths, and I had some of these that Troy just found, and I'm so glad that we have them. I saved for this video to open them because I figured they'd be fun to see. So these are the wreaths on the star on the Walk of Fame. Some of these were, oh, bless them. When my mom died, it was the sweetest thing. The people that worked at Dearly Departed Tours made one for my mom and sent a wreath to my mother's funeral, and made one just like the ones that they used to do on the Walk of Fame. That was like the nicest thing anyone. That was one of the nicest things. Oh, Andy Williams. I know that the people at the Hollywood Walk of Fame lost their ever-loving shit when they found out we had these things, but that's because they didn't get them first. Some of these I'd have to look up again. Some of these were acquired by my friend Brian, who I used to work with. And he donated them to the museum. Before, when I used to do really nice ones like these, I liked these a lot. These were cool. And now they do this stupid thing with a glitter glue gun. It looks so stupid and so tacky. They spend so much time, so much money on the flowers, and then they put these stupid, ugly things on them with hot glue gun letters. This is what you get. $50,000 on the Walk of Fame, and you get a wreath at the end of it. I don't even know what this is. Oh, I think this was Shirley Temple. I think it was Shirley Temple Black. Shirley Temple Black. Elena Verdugo. Where I go, you go. I'm not going to go through all of these because there's a lot. This was on Bob Hope's. My friend Mary. Mary, you're here, I think. Hollywood Mary. She got that for me on the Walk of Fame. That was actually on her star at the Chinese Theater. This is the one that I remember getting out. I was taking a taxi home, and I had the taxi driver stop, and I got out of the car and got that. So because they're going to be thrown out. So say what you will, I don't care. People say all kinds of shit about me. That's all good. Gale Storm. So these are kind of fun. I figured I'd show you Captain Kangaroo, Bob Keeshan. Cliff Robertson. All right, I'm going to stop this because I could go on and on. There's like 100 of these things. Brandon, thank you, man. Brandon, my buddy from Talks on the Crypt. Brandon is in the room, and he just threw a donation at me, and that was really nice of you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop this because we'd be going on for hours on these, but they're fun. So these were on their wreaths on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And they used to just leave them there, and they ended up being thrown out. I started collecting them, and then other people started collecting them. I actually have Ray Manzarek's flowers from the Hollywood Walk of Fame because they were just throwing them out. So that. All right, so I'm going to have to, because I know that Troy's waiting for me. We haven't had our 5 o'clock cocktail because it's 6 o'clock now. We usually go outside and have a 5 o'clock cocktail. Jack Cassidy has no lips. He really doesn't now. Was Colonel Sanders a tribe traveler? Oh God, it's funny. I really enjoy hearing the comments about the people that are in that we just talked about. Did Zoltar just wave? I love it. Did I ever meet Karen Black? I did meet Karen Black at just an autograph show when I got a picture with her. But Troy, we were at LAX and she was waiting in the baggage area, and Troy went over and talked to her, and I wish I would have got a good picture of him with her because Troy loves Karen Black. I like Karen Black, but Troy loves Karen Black. We just watched the Airport 75, I think it was, with Karen Black in it, and it was so good. It was fun, just fun. Appetizers with cocktails. Yeah, Jordan. I don't know if Jordan's still in here, but we're gonna have a blast doing Route 66. That's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a nice road trip, and John won't be joining us this time. But that gives us a little bit more zooming in every direction too. I don't mean any. I love Ja. I'd go. Ja's fine. I love Ja. I love Ja. I love traveling with Ja, but he's not coming along on this trip. Leaf Garrett or Sean Cassidy? Neither. Not my thing. Where can I find my Wonderland documentary? It's on YouTube. It's only 20 minutes. Mike and I did that together when we got into the Wonderland house. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Go through my videos. It's one of the first I put up. Or just search for Wonderland Scott Michaels and you'll find it. Burnt Offerings. That's the one. I was just at that location and I shot some video of it. I went to the Elliott Smith house, and right around the corner is the Karen Black place from from Burnt Off Range, and it's on Bate Street, which Hitchcock had to have changed or had to have chose on purpose because the street sign shows up in that movie. Airport 75 is a comedy. It is. It really is. Okay, I'm gonna go. Our cocktail of choice. We right now is those little bottled of on the rocks they're called, and yeah, they do like old fashions. They do margaritas. They do mai tais. So that's our current favorite. Okay, so I'm gonna fly. I want to say thank you. Podcast will happen. It will happen soon. The hats, again, I'll place one more time. This is the link to the baseball caps if you're interested in one. I appreciate it. I'll just say that, I don't make any money. We could only get like 24 of these things made because we can't really, it's a lot of money to make them. So there's no money to be made on these things, but they're cool and they're available now. And I just want to let you know yeah. So anyway, not going to complain. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. I appreciate it. It's so kind of you to join me this evening and let me prattle on about nothing. YouTube videos in the works. I'm working on Mary Wilson of the Supremes, and I'm working on Bela Lugosi. Got some information that I don't think has been published about Bela Lugosi, at least stuff I've never heard of. Kind of working on a Mercedes McCambridge one. I've got everything I need. It just YouTube gets really funny when you talk about things like self-harm, and it gets to be exhausting having to dance around, words because YouTube doesn't appreciate or doesn't take things into account. And YouTube is very fussy. I did a video on the documentary on the what do you call it, the Viper Room the other day, and I released it, and on it was a matchbook cover of a woman, an illustration, the most blurry, most vague illustration of a woman with no top on. And there's nothing even, like, I didn't even know when I put the thing in there. I looked at it and they flagged me for nudity. So it's like, whatever, it's exhausting. You got to dance around a lot to appease people. But anyway, so thank you guys very much. Lance, Mark, Nikki, David, Annette, Ingrid, Jolene, Brian, thank you guys for spending your Friday evening with me from all over the world. God, Mexico and Ireland and Austria and Australia and it's Kentucky. Thank you very much. Go have a great weekend. I don't want to say Happy Memorial Day because it's not a happy occasion, but I just keep that stuff in mind. There's a seriousness to this. At least I'm not going to preach to you guys. Do what you like, but I hope that your weekend is a pleasant one. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your attention. And I'm going to try to end this thing because I am.